Hello everyone, my name is Jasper, the proprietor of the channel. Before we begin, let me ask you a few questions. Are you a Republican or a Democrat? Are you religious? Do you believe that hate is justifiable? Now, please keep those questions in mind as we delve into one of the worst songs Tom Macdonald has ever released. Now, personally, I was raised Republican and nowadays I'm more Democrat, but I do believe in quite a few Republican policies, such as restriction on immigration and tax cuts. There's a few other things, but I feel if I list them all, I have to defend myself quite heavily on why I'm on that side. Now that we've got that cleared up, as you can tell by the title, we're talking about how New World Order by Tom Macdonald is just the worst song he's ever released. Without wasting any more time, let's jump right into this utter bullshit.
Here's the problem with America, the country is broken. Cause they minds stay closed, but they mouths stay open. Get attacked and we blame terrorists, go broken, we blame the price. Blame racists for the racism, but only if his skin is white.
Now, this is one thing I sort of agree with when it comes to this song. I've seen a lot of people say you can't be racist to white people, which is utterly false. The Jewish race, and yes, we are a race, the religion is Judaism, the people are the Jewish, has undergone severe racism since basically the dawn of time. I don't even need to mention the Holocaust or the anti-Jew parade in Belgium, do I? Or the extreme anti-Semitism in the entire world right now due to the Free Palestine movement, which I won't state my views on, as previously stated. I'm Jewish. Point is, the color of your skin is not a race. Not just that, but there's also a difference between systemic racism and social racism. An argument a lot of people use is using the suffix ism, stating that it refers to a system. However, it also refers to a practice or philosophy. So yes, social and systemic racism exist. You may not be able to be systemically racist towards white Americans, but you can be socially racist to them. Back to you, Tom.
If we don't need guns cause we can call the police, we don't need fire extinguishers, call a fireman please.
This argument doesn't really work at all. See, I believe gun control is important. It's a genuinely serious issue, and there's a major difference between a fire extinguisher and a gun. A gun is designed to kill someone to protect you and your family and whoever. However, a fire extinguisher is designed to put out fires to protect you and your family and whoever. A fire extinguisher is also much more likely to be needed in more situations than a gun. While I do believe guns do hold a value in protection, it's really stupid to use the analogy that Tom used.
You didn't want to build a wall and now the border is weak. Your favorite actor has a gate that's like 15 feet.
Well, with this one, there's some truth in it, but it also doesn't work. People trying to break into an actor's home almost, if not always, have bad intentions, such as harm to the actor, or to steal from them, or even harass them. And now there are some people who cross the border illegally who are bad. Most come here for a better life than what they initially had, and as stated previously, I am against illegal immigration. Tom's comparison again just doesn't work.
Racism is gay, if you're offended that's retarded. And tolerance is great until you speak and you're retarded.
I have no clue what Tom was trying to prove here, so just making an assumption, I believe he's saying the left is supposed to be, well, the tolerant left. However, it's shown they're incredibly aggressive when someone disagrees with them, which in a way I agree with this statement as well, to an extent at least.
If a white man paints his face black, he's a racist piece of garbage, but you put him in a dress and he's courageous and he's gorgeous.
Oh, you cannot be fucking serious this one. He has to just be satire with this line. This is probably the worst comparison he has made yet. There's an extreme difference between blackface and just fucking cross-dressing. Like, what? One is a literal sign of hate and racism, and the other is a form of self-expression. Professor David Leonard, who's a professor in comparative ethnic studies and American studies at Washington State University, said it best. It's an assertion of power and control. It allows a society to routinely and historically imagine African Americans as not fully human. It serves to rationalize violence and Jim Crow segregation. While the exact time blackface started is unknown, one of the earliest uses of it is in Shakespeare's play Othello, which eventually led to Thomas Dartmouth Rice creating his now infamous character, Jim Crow. This, of course, led to white performers in blackface playing characters that perpetuated a range of negative stereotypes about African Americans, including being lazy, ignorant, superstitious, hypersexual, criminalistic, and cowardly. Meanwhile, a man wearing a dress, assuming you aren't referring to transgenders and instead cross-dressing, affects literally no one except those who try and enforce toxic masculinity. So yes, if you wear blackface, you're being racist, and if you wear a dress, regardless of your gender, you are beautiful.
All these double standards, man, I'm tired of the noise. Freedom's an illusion if they censor your voice. Call a dad a deadbeat for neglecting his boys, but a mom kills a baby and you call it pro-choice.
Yeah, you're not killing a baby. This is a very heated topic, so I'm not going to delve into it, but there's a major difference here once again. On one end, you have children growing up without a father and having the ability to feel emotion and trauma and watching all the other kids off with their dads. However, a woman getting an abortion doesn't traumatize the fetus, as it has no real emotional response to such thing happening to them that can be proven. This fucking guy.
You act like you're so much better than us. Yeah, we know that.
Well, they're not better, but maybe they're smarter.
Who told you that you so special to a new world order?
Yes, a new world order where we allow people to live freely without being in fear of being judged or hated. Such a terrible world we live in.
Your facts ain't facts without censoring us. Yeah, we know that.
This line makes no sense. Facts are facts regardless of who gets censored, and you don't get censored. They just tell you when you're being a dumbass or not.
Good job, you lose, here's your medal to a new world order.
Again, I'm starting with, cause like, what? They aren't losing. In fact, they're growing. If they lost, Biden wouldn't have won the presidency, they wouldn't have won the House, and they certainly wouldn't have won the Senate.
Why they hate the flag, they try to burn it to the ground. Don't do that in front of me, I'ma let off a round, pow.
They don't hate the flag. Very few extremists even burn the flag down. Also, it's literally just some cloth. I get it has some meaning behind it, but if your response to it being burnt is to shoot someone, you're kind of proving their point on the gun thing.
Scream loud, burn the city down now. Put it on the news, make them all feel proud, look.
I'll say one thing, his flow is immaculate and his use of syllables is fantastic. I'm not going to talk about this line though, as I can't say anything that hasn't already been said before.
Make a system where 85% of black people fill the prison. Is it cause they black or they make bad decisions?
Nationally, only 1 in every 89 African Americans are serving time in prison. I don't know where the fuck you got 85% from. Also, over 2,000 people in the past 30 years had to be exonerated as they were falsely accused, and those are just ones that are proven to be false. However, there's a lot of black prisoners who are probably in there due to, I don't know, the CIA Contra crack cocaine controversy. I also highly urge you to check out the Marshall Project. A link will be included down below, but it goes over how common cops planting evidence is, especially when it comes to African Americans.
I ain't good at math, but it seems like it's division. Or is it white privilege?
It's not white privilege, it's the government trying to create that division you were just talking about so loudly.
I believe politicians need to be locked up. Try to take our freedoms, that's how you get shot up.
Giving more reasons not to trust you with guns, pal. No one's trying to take away your freedoms. You and Tom are just conspiracy extremists.
Got our back against the wall, try to just stop us. More guns, more ammunition, please stock up.
Jesus, man, no, don't stock up.
Election gets rigged, rights get infringed. Take this syringe.
Oh, please, no. Don't start screaming about the vaccine and the election being rigged. There's literally no proof the election was rigged. You just can't accept the loss. I remember a meme back in 2016 of a tweet that went something like, if Trump wins, Democrats will be angry. If Hillary wins, Republicans will be disappointed. There's a difference. Well, where's that energy now?
Frighten your kids, show up right where you live. Make me want to grab a rifle and just go.
Another gun threat. Are you sure you're okay, dude?
You act like you're so much better than us.
Let's just skip this. I don't want to talk about this again.
And everyone blames white folks for every little bitty thing. We don't have no one to blame, we take responsibility.
Just like responsibility was taken for the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and not forced, it's simply being asked you hold people accountable instead of trying to make up an excuse for the situation. No, Tom, you don't take responsibility. And to be fair, most of America's problems were caused by, as you call them, white folks. Am I saying white people are to blame for everything? No. But the situation isn't about you. At least the situation here I believe you're referring to.
They tell you be a man, then call it toxic masculinity. Then when you act too feminine, they call it white fragility.
No, not at all. Well, in some cases this may be true. Most cases I see of it being called white fragility is when you have some meathead white guy whining, complaining nonstop about liberals this and liberals that, while trying to justify racist, sexist, or homophobic acts. Also, white fragility is not a bad thing at all.
I don't understand trans man with humility. I'm just trying to raise my kid the best of my ability.
I don't understand this bar or how the two lines correlate. However, trans men would have humility because they're told they aren't real men or get bullied and harassed. If you're referring to being modest, it should be natural for someone to be modest. It scares me that you don't understand that modesty should be natural.
If I disagree, you try to cancel, get rid of me. You cancer, you can't be the answer, you killing me.
I actually sort of agree with this line. However, if you're homies with Tom, your form of disagreeing isn't just disagreeing with it. It's downright hating on it and bashing it. And while yes, that's unfair to assume guiltiness due to association, you agreed to be on a song with him while knowing what kind of music he makes at the very least. I know most rappers wouldn't agree to make a song with someone if they didn't agree with their views. Like Lil Nas X probably won't be making a song with someone who's homophobic. Also, if you want to raise your son right, then raise him to be respectful, loving, caring, and accepting.
I hate white supremacy just as much as you, but I ain't feeling guilty for something I did.